This story is based on a true incident. It begins in 2015, where a group of paranormal experts is seen talking to a girl named Au. Au seems to have a spirit living inside her, and the experts try to communicate with this spirit. As they talk to Au about her condition, the spirit within her responds. A paranormal investigator mentions an accident, which makes Au feel strange. Suddenly, she starts laughing uncontrollably. The story then flashes back to 2010, 5 years earlier. Au and her friend Rara are filming a video together. Afterward, Rara goes to her friend Adine to watch the video. Meanwhile, Au begins acting oddly. She starts dancing in a bizarre way. Alarmed by her behavior, Rara panics. Another person nearby, Ja, helps Rara take Au to a room. During this time, Au's eyes turn completely white, making it seem like someone has taken control of her body. Ja and Rara lay Au down on the bed. Later, when Au regains consciousness, she has no memory of what happened. Rara explains everything to Au's father, Geet, who comes to check on her. Shortly after, Au's mother, Ere, arrives and asks about Au's condition. Rara stops her from meeting Au immediately and explains what had happened. Au, however, dismisses it, saying her behavior might have been due to her periods. The next day, Au is getting ready for school, but she feels uneasy as if someone else is in the house. While searching the house, she hears a knock at the door. Au opens it to find Rara, who has come to pick her up for school. Au heads to the bathroom, and while Rara waits, she hears someone singing. Moments later, they leave for school together. At school, the two stand in the assembly. Suddenly, Rara sees a strange woman where Au should be. Au screams loudly, causing chaos among the students. Rara watches in shock as Au begins singing and dancing wildly, appearing to be possessed again. The scene is both unsettling and mysterious. After the strange incident at school, Au's parents are called in. Miss Novita explains Au's condition to them. She talks about what happened that day, mentioning that during the incident, Au was singing in Japanese and dancing. She advises them to take care of Au because her condition doesn't seem normal. Later that night, Au is eating dinner, but she eats as though she's starving and has never eaten before. Her father tries to ask her something, but she doesn't respond. After finishing her meal, Au goes to her room. Her father, Jito, tells her mother, Ajan, that they should consult a spiritual expert. He believes something may have happened to Au at a place called Watu Kandang. He explains that Watu Kandang is a sacred site named after a special stone kept there. Ajan suggests asking someone in the village about it, as they might know more. However, Jito disagrees, fearing that news of Au's condition could harm their family's good reputation in the village. That night, Ajan hears the same song Rara had heard earlier. Curious, she goes to the bathroom to check who might be singing at this late hour but finds no one there. Instead, she hears the sound of water running from the bathroom tap. Thinking it must be Au, she dismisses the incident and goes back to her room. Meanwhile, Au also hears strange noises. When she looks into the bathroom mirror, she sees the reflection of the same mysterious woman. The next day, Au goes to meet her friend Adine. However, Adine isn't there yet. Au asks another friend to hand over a recording for her. Later, Rara visits Au's house to show her the recording. They discover that Adine may have disturbed something sacred at Watu Kandang, angering the spirit associated with it. They believe this could be the reason behind Au's condition. They think finding Adine might help Au recover, but they don't know where Adine is and must first locate her. The following day, Au goes to the village to meet a spiritual expert. Meanwhile, some villagers start questioning Ajan about the mass possession that occurred earlier, speculating that Au might have caused it. The women of the village discuss the strange things that have been happening, but Ajan is unable to explain much. On the other hand, Jito is fixing his car when he suddenly sees the feet of the mysterious woman nearby. He looks around but she vanishes. Then he hears the same haunting song coming from inside the car. When he checks, he sees Au sitting in the car. Shocked, he looks again, but Au is no longer there. She has disappeared. Moments later, Au appears nearby, startling him. Jito is left confused and terrified, wondering who or what was inside the car earlier if Au was standing outside. Rara was watching the video from the same day when suddenly someone tried to open her door, scaring her. She looked out the window and saw the same mysterious woman. Frightened, she hid under her blanket. When she woke up, she found herself back at the same place and time as the day of her video shoot. She tried to explain what had happened, but before she could, Au transformed into the woman, who said she liked Rara. Rara woke up from this strange experience and started calling for Au. However, Au was humming the same song as the mysterious woman. Au's parents decided to take her to a spiritual expert. There, Au began singing the same song again, but this time her eyes turned white, and she laughed in a terrifying way. Despite taking her to many spiritual healers, Au's condition didn't improve. News about Au spread through the village, and people began associating her with strange happenings. Jito and Ajan continued seeking help, and Rara stayed with them. Au grew tired of visiting spiritual experts, but her mother encouraged her not to give up. They then took Au to a well-known spiritual healer named Mabadi. During the healing process, Au transformed into the woman again and became unconscious. Jito and Mabadi took care of her, and Mabadi revealed that Au was under the influence of Madame Sarinten. Rara told them about a dream where she had seen Au as a singer named Sinden and shared everything she knew. Her friends suggested finding Adine, as they believed she could help, but no one knew where Adine was. Rara then suggested involving paranormal investigators and showed Jito some videos of their work. However, Jito didn't trust them, thinking they were just creating content. Meanwhile, Raza, Au's lover, came to check on her because she had been acting strangely. When he asked if she was okay, Au said yes, but the spirit inside her began laughing and claimed Au was fine. Raza thought it was a joke and became angry, leaving the room. Soon after, Jito and Rara discovered Au was missing. They searched for her and found her outside in a possessed state. Raza tried to help, but even he couldn't understand what was happening. Au became unconscious again. That night, Raza and Rara decided to stay at Au's house to keep an eye on her. During the night, Au began singing the same eerie song. Her mother, Ange, arrived and suggested they pray together. As they prayed, Au seemed to get possessed again but eventually returned to normal. Meanwhile, 3 paranormal investigators named Gata, Gad, and Daya were on their way to Au's house. These were the experts Rara had mentioned earlier. As they approached, the same haunting song played on their radio, adding to the mystery. A song begins to play, surprising everyone. It is the same song Au had been singing. Her Anden's Sinden singer. If you're wondering what Sinden means, it is a title given to women who sing a particular song. Meanwhile, Au steps outside and sees the mysterious lady in the glass. Her name is Sarnat. Au asks Sarnat what she wants from her, and Sarnat replies that she is protecting Au. Sarnat also reveals that their fates are intertwined and that it is destiny for them to be together. Sarnat then controls Au, making her eat a leaf from her hand. After eating the leaf, Au begins screaming. Everyone rushes to her and carefully brings her inside. Suddenly, the lights go out and Au, now fully possessed, speaks in a strange voice, claiming, Au is no longer here. The next day, 3 paranormal experts arrive to help. They promise to assist in finding Abidin as well. They ask to meet Au, and when Au is brought to them, she is clearly possessed. Gad, one of the experts, sits in front of Au, and she begins singing the same eerie song again. After the song, Gad and the others sing it quietly to themselves to analyze it. Au then reveals her name as Sarinten and says she is from a place called Kandang. After making this strange declaration, Au falls unconscious. That night, Jito takes Gad, Genta, and Thea to an old house for the night. After ensuring they are settled, Jito leaves. Later that night, Rara notices something unusual and tries to leave, but Ange stops her and tells her Au is missing. They begin searching for her, and Rara goes to call Gad and Genta for help. She tells them Au is missing, and they all quickly start searching. Meanwhile, Thea gets separated from the group. Gad, Genta, and Rara realize this and begin searching for Thea instead. They find her lying on a bed in a possessed state, but as they help her, they discover that Au is now missing again. After searching further, they find Au in a graveyard near a place called Watu. She is singing the same haunting song. They carefully bring her back, and she regains consciousness. The next day, they decide to investigate Watu. Rara explains the situation to the paranormal experts. While investigating, they meet Mabadi, whom Rara introduces to Gad and Genta. That night, Gad suggests they return to Mabadi to learn more about Watu. Rara agrees to take them, but Thea needs to change the lens on her camera and decides to head home. Meanwhile, Au's condition worsens. She becomes uncontrollable, pushing her mother and violently attacking her father. When Raj tries to intervene, Au attacks him too and runs away. Thea arrives home at this chaotic moment. Something strange happens to Thea. She feels like someone is following her. She quickly goes inside the house, which is very dark, and begins changing the lens on her camera. While she's doing this, she encounters Age, who is in a possessed state. Age starts scaring Thea, leaving her terrified. Meanwhile, the group visits Mabadi, who explains that Wat Keng is actually a symbol connected to the ancestors of certain people. However, if someone goes there with bad intentions, the place attracts them with its negative energy. Mabadi suggests that Aiden Paka might have visited Wat Keng with bad intentions, which is why he was drawn to it. He may have picked up a stone there, leading to Au being possessed by Sarinten. Mabadi adds that Abidin might now be missing because Sarinten wants the object Abidin took to be returned. When they return home, they find Thea looking scared. They question her about what happened, but she is too frightened to explain. Gad checks the recording on Thea's camera, but Au isn't visible in the footage. Only Thea appears, though Au's voice can be heard. Later, Au arrives, and Rara takes care of her. They make Thea lie down on a bed to rest and then step away to check on Au. While doing so, Au senses something is wrong with Thea. Soon we see Thea at Watu Kandang, standing in front of someone who looks like Au. However, this isn't Au, it's Sarinten, who has taken Au's form. Sarinten tells Thea that the whole village hated her, but Watu Kandang supported her. This place is a blessing to her because its water flows into the southern sea, granting her new life and supernatural powers. With these powers, she has been able to take revenge and live there. Thea asks why she, Sarinten, is there, as she doesn't belong to this world. Sarinten explains that she has opened the spirit realm and soon plans to take over this world as well. As Thea listens, she hears the sound of creatures approaching. Sarinten tells her they are coming to take her. Terrified, Thea tries to run, but suddenly her eyes open, and she realizes she has been astral projecting. She had entered the spirit realm, allowing her to see Age in that realm. This also explains why Au didn't appear on the camera recording. Only her voice was captured. In her hand, Thea finds a glowing stone, which she places in her bag. Gad and Genta arrive, and Thea begins describing her dream to them. Suddenly, she feels nauseous and runs to vomit. While Gad and Genta wait, Thea sees a creature from the spirit realm standing before her. Hearing strange sounds, Gad and Genta rush to her and find her lying unconscious. Then we see Thea inside the glass. Her spirit has now fully entered the spirit realm. In this otherworldly place, a creature begins following her. In the end, Thea is placed in a mental hospital because she lost her sanity after the traumatic events. We also see Adine, who spots Saran's body. Following this, Au and Reza get married. Reza is shown alongside Au, and they adopt Inten, symbolizing that Inten will stay with Au forever. Reflecting on the story, it appears that Watu Kandang is a mysterious place. If someone goes there with good intentions but picks up anything, they risk bringing back a spirit or demon. This might explain what happened to Abidin. He may have taken something from there, triggering the events that led to his madness. No one could understand him after this. As for Sarinten, it's possible she always wanted to be a singer but was never accepted by the villagers. They isolated her, and as she grew older, she found a way to live again by possessing someone's body. Sarinten longed for respect and recognition as a singer. She likely envied Au, who had everything: a loving family, a home, friends, and a romantic partner. Saran believed that if she trapped Au, she could achieve her dream of singing and gaining the love and respect she always desired. Thea, too, had greed within her. When she picked up the shining stone, her true intention was to gain fame, even though she initially seemed to come to help. Her greed drew a demonic entity toward her. This creature wanted to take Thea with it, and while she returned to the real world, the trauma left her mentally unstable. You might wonder why Au's other friends couldn't enter the spirit world. It's because they didn't take anything from Kandang. Only those with greed or hidden desires were affected by the portal's negative energy and trapped spirits. Au likely had her own greed, which is why she was drawn into the same realm. Perhaps she longed for something more, like recognition or fame, just as Abidin might have, possibly by filming himself there to gain attention. The key idea is that anyone who enters Kandang with impure intentions becomes a target for the portal's dark energy. Their souls get trapped in the spirit world as a consequence. Finally, the movie's credit scenes show real photos of the people involved, emphasizing that the story is based on true events. This haunting tale ends here, leaving a lingering sense of mystery and fear.